Hey everyone, this is going to be an instrument review of the Pango Mandocello. This is a model called PMB-903, and basically I'm going to do an unboxing and just go through as much details about this instrument as I can. So this is going to be a long video, so but hopefully for anybody who's interested in buying an instrument from this company, this will be a good informative video. So that's kind of the goal here. So I'm going to go to the unboxing now, and then we'll take a look at the instrument itself. Okay, so I finally got this package in the mail, and we're just going to do an unboxing of it. This is what they shipped it in, and it seems like pretty good good quality, durable shipping. It needs to be so since it's coming all the way from China, of course. But yeah, it's got tape all the way around it, and it's in pretty good condition overall from the shipping. I can see this corner down here is a little bit crushed in, but it doesn't look too bad. I don't think it impacts the instrument inside. I guess we'll see. But so here's what we get. It has a little sticker on top here. It says fragile right there. And we'll just go around to the other side of this thing here. You can see it's got the shipping label here. I put a piece of paper over my contact information, but you can see where it was shipped from right there. So that's where this came from over in China. They use a shipping company called EMS Worldwide Express Mail Service, and from the day that they shipped it until it got here, it was under 2 weeks. I forget exactly how long it took, but it was in between 1 and 2 weeks anyways. Basically it transferred into the United States Postal Service Express Mail once it got into the States, I guess. So really that's it's pretty fast service. Got another sticker here, you can see JFK, ICN, some airports, I guess. It also had the kind of the same labels inside here, which I pulled those out. And the other side just has another sticker. Let's see if there's anything along the bottom. I don't think there is. Nope. So I'm gonna try and cut this open, I guess, and then see what we have inside. Alright, so I just cut around the entire edge and open this up, and we have basically another box inside of this box. So I'll have to cut this one open too. We'll see what's inside of that. Okay, so I had no idea where I was supposed to cut into this, so I had to cut some of this off. Kind of made a little bit of a mess here and found out that there is an opening here. So this flips up like that. Now I just got to open up this, and then hopefully I get to the instrument. Alright, so here we go. This should be the final thing to get inside, and yes it is. So I guess that'll work. So here's what we get inside. There's the Mandocello right there. So I'll pull that out in a second. There is sort of an odor coming from this. It's not like really too bad, I guess. Now it was mainly when I first opened this up, I smelled something a little weird, but let's see. So here's what we get inside. There is some stuff in here underneath some of this crushed styrofoam pieces. So we'll take a look at that stuff first. And let's see what we got here. So first we've got some business cards. Pango Music, make any guitar for you. Definitely some Chinglish going on there. Then we've got contact information here, Ann Jiang, marketing manager, and this is actually the person that I've done all my email correspondence with throughout this entire purchasing process. And so all this information that you see here is basically, if you want to get an instrument from them, that's exactly where you should contact them. So some business cards. It looks like there's something like 5 in there. So here in this we've got the a little tool for the truss rod, adjusting the truss rod, it looks like there. And we have the bridge right there. So there is that. So again, that truss rod piece and then the bridge. So let's take a little look at that. I'll take this rubber band off here. And basically here it is. First impression is that it seems pretty nice to me. So there's the bridge. And then I don't see anything else in here except for the instrument itself. So I'm going to try and take this out here. A little tricky to get it out, get the headstock out of there. Really didn't want to damage it or anything, so I think what I'll do is make sure there isn't anything else in there, and I don't see anything. So I'm going to pull this down and set the Mandocello on top of it. And as far as the packaging goes, so far I have to say I think that they've done this is really excellent packaging. Let's see, I think I gotta just pull this all the way off. But, seems like very excellent quality packaging. Alright, so here it is, fresh out of the box. So I guess it's first impression time, and I've never actually held a Mandocello before, so I didn't really know what the exact size of this thing was going to be, but this is kind of a behemoth. Kind of roughly the size of a standard sized acoustic guitar, so it certainly is a big instrument and definitely a giant sized mandolin, if you want to call it that. It's really cool looking. It's shiny, and I think it just looks awesome. So I'm trying to look for any signs of imperfection or anything, and so far I don't really see anything. I did kind of put my nose up close to this a little bit, and there is a little bit of odor coming off the instrument. It's like a glue type of smell or something. It's not like super strong or anything, but it's kind of there if you get up close to it. It's not like super bad or anything. If anything, it kind of makes it feel like it's a sort of freshly made sort of smell, I guess you could say. So I'm guessing that'll kind of wear off over time. But here we'll go up the headstock here all the way, and it looks really nice. And this was a custom little star I asked them to put on there, just so there's a little bit of decoration, because apparently they usually just leave this without any sort of decoration. I wanted to have at least a little something there, so I think that looks really nice. White tuning pegs. I think I originally asked them for black ones, but they showed me the pictures of these via email with white ones that they had put on it, and I'm like, actually those look really nice. I'm not going to ask you to change them. Another custom thing I asked them to do is to go up to 24 frets. I think usually they cut it off like somewhere here or something. I forget where, but yeah, otherwise it's just the standard, I forget what they call it, like PMB-903 or something. But yeah, so that's the front of it. I'll lift this up and let's see, I guess we'll take a look at the back. And there's the back of the headstock going all the way down. And here's the back, and you can see that it is just really nice and shiny. I guess there's some little things, like, let's see. See if I can get my camera to focus. Like this little area here is a little bit of, I don't know, that looks a little bit weird, but, anything little like that, I don't really care about that. It's just the overall quality of it. That's what I care about, and from what I can see so far, this thing is really, really nice. So let's see. So I've got it does come with these strings on it. I am going to switch these out and put a different set of strings on it. And so I'm going to put some new strings on it and, you know, get the bridge set up and try and make sure that, you know, adjust the truss rod if needed and all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to do like a professional setup or anything for this review. That might come at a later time. So this will just be me setting it up. I'm not a professional at that by any means, but should give a basic sense of, you know, what it sounds like and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So let's see. I guess we'll see what we have. I'll show you guys what kind of strings I use. Here's the set of strings that I bought for this. Just got these on Amazon. They were like 20 to 25 bucks. Diodario 8-string Mandocello, medium strings. Just kind of a standard set, I think. I really don't know, you know, what the best types are, but this was an option that I found, so hopefully these are nice. I could just use the strings that they already kind of put on it, but I thought I would like to just you know, get a fresh pack and you know, put those on. So that's what I'm going to do. Get it strung up, get it restrung, take these off, put the new ones on, put the bridge on there, adjust whatever, and then do a little review of this. Alright, so I guess real quick before I do the setup process, I thought I'd give this a look over to try and find any kind of cosmetic oddities. And I did find a few, and they're mostly in these kind of tight areas. And so if I try and zoom in right here, you can see kind of down in here, a place where it looks like the finish, you know, kind of isn't completely applied or something like that. It kind of goes down a little bit. That's kind of probably hard to see, but you can see that there. It's a little bit of an eyesore, and you can also see inside the actual scroll itself, like right here, and going all the way down, which you can't see down there, but you can see right here. It's not, they didn't put any finish here, it looks like. I'm not really sure what they did here. It's got a hard kind of feeling, and it doesn't really look very good. It's just got this kind of weird brown looking color to it. You know, it's not the end of the world or anything, and I don't like, you know, I can completely understand why they didn't go like deep into here to, you know, try and finish that, because this is a really tight area. It would have been nice if they could have got some of the top here at least, I guess, but maybe a little project for another day if I can, you know, figure something out for that. Let me see. And then I think over here is another area that's kind of a little bit weird with the finish. Let's see if I can zoom in. It just looks a little bit weird. I don't think that's very easy to see on camera. Very, very minor. Not a huge deal. And then I also saw up on the corner headstock up here, it's kind of the same thing that's down here, just not completely finished in there. You can kind of see that just a little bit. But, you know, that's a very tight area. It's very hard to get in there. So, and the thing is, for the price I paid for it, I can totally understand some of those things. So a few teeny tiny cosmetic blemishes, I guess you could say, in these tight areas, but otherwise, you know, it's pretty good. And I can feel if I, you know, move my fingers around the scroll here, you can feel it starts to get rough sort of right about here. So, you know, just the tight areas. Anyways, let's get this set up and let's start playing it. Okay, so this is the next update of trying to put this thing together and get it in tune. This is actually a few days later compared to the last clip that you guys saw. So this is what happened. I tried to tune this instrument up. I put the new set of strings on. You can see I've got kind of a mess going on here. I didn't cut them. Tuned this side up. This side was okay. It was a little bit tight to tune up the strings to get them to tune, you know, get them to the right tuning. But they did go fine. When I got to this side, however, which has obviously the much thicker strings, 3 of the 4 I was able to tune, but one of them, while I was trying to tune it up, it was actually this one right here. The tuning peg actually stripped while I was tuning it. So, you know, basically I was turning it, and then at one point I turned it, and I just kind of felt it kind of crack a little bit, and then you couldn't turn it anymore. And I wish I would have taken a video sample of when that actually happened. to really show you guys what was going on, but I was kind of just in shock and really disappointed at the time. So this is after I've kind of, I tried to fix it. I tried to, here's the old tuner that I took off. I tried to take tuners from the other pegs, some of the other pegs, and try to put them on this one so I could at least just get it in tune. But I couldn't. It was broken, and there was just really no way to fix it. And I ended up stripping in another one of these ones, and basically these are junky tuners. That is the main point of this. Very cheap tuners, and they're not very good. And so what I actually learned is that I'm not a mandolin player really or anything, so I don't know a whole lot about the hardware of these things, but I did some research and found out that they're actually the same, they're the same tuners that are used on mandolins. So I have a new set in the mail. I actually did find that you can order this exact same set from certain sites online. They're very cheap. They're like $60. So I bought a different set that is hopefully a little bit better quality, because I'm not going to buy the same set since obviously these are crap. See on the back that it is on that little label there, it's made in Korea. I don't think you can read that. Made in Korea. So I don't know. Not that that really matters, but because the new tuners I probably got are probably made in Korea or someplace else too, so it doesn't matter. The price that you can pay for these tuners I found out can vary from like the $60 for this one, like on the low end, to like $600 if you get like Waverly tuners or something that's really, really fancy and probably really, really good. I just got like $100 set, and I'm going to try that. Because I just want something that will work. It doesn't have to be anything super fancy. It just has to work. So hopefully, but yeah, absolutely disappointed because day one that I got this thing, I could not play it, right? I could play some of the strings, and I did, and it actually sounds pretty good, but I couldn't get the full, sound of it. Day one, very, very disappointing. So I'm going to get this new set of tuners whenever I get them. I'm going to try to put them on, install them, and just try this over again with hopefully a better set of tuners. And we'll see how that goes. So see you in the next update. Alright, so this will be kind of the review part of this now. I finally got this thing strung up, and it's actually been about 2 months, roughly, since the clip just preceding this one. So I've actually had this thing strung up, tuned, and I've been playing with it for about 2 months, roughly. And so this isn't going to be like a fresh look at this, I guess. It's kind of after I've been breaking it in a little bit. But kind of to continue on with the story of what happened with the tuning pegs here, like I kind of mentioned before, I was planning to buy a set of different and a little bit better tuners. They were actually Grover tuners. So I got those in the mail and I put them on, but they didn't fit exactly right. They fit through these 4 holes up here for the actual tuner, the tuning pegs. But underneath, some of the screws underneath there didn't align exactly, and just the way that the tuners were aligned with the gears and everything, it kind of looked a little bit funny on the headstock. So, I wasn't really wanting to do a bunch of new, drill a bunch of new holes in the back for the screws or anything. So what I ended up doing is I did actually go and buy a new set of the same style tuners that were on this when I got it fresh in the box. I really didn't want to do that because, like I was saying, they're just not very good tuners. But I thought, just to be simple, I'm gonna just get those same tuners. Maybe somewhere down the line, I'll think about getting a kind of a better quality set that fits better, or something like that. Just figure something else out that's a little better quality. But I did go and get the same exact tuners, and I got those from a place called allparts.com. Let's see, I'll get a little bit closer with this. So there's the packaging, and then on the back you can see that you can see the model and everything. F mandolin keys, nickel, and all that stuff. So $60, and they're basically the same exact things. So there's that. It really was very annoying that I had to do that, but I was just very careful tuning this up the first time, just tuning in small steps until I finally got it up to tune. And ever since then, these have been working decently well. I mean, I'm still very careful when I tune this thing, and I'm just very, it takes a long time because I got to be very meticulous with the tuners so that I don't break them, because I don't want to have to go through that again. But it works. It stays in tune pretty well. There's a C chord. And so now that I'm in business with the tuners, it's all good. I do remember when I first got this out of the box and I was kind of just feeling the finish on it and stuff. It felt like it was kind of, I don't know if I want to say sticky, but it was very, I don't know, you could like grip it and it was very grippy, and it just didn't, I don't know, something about it just didn't really feel very good to me. And it was kind of the same thing going up the headstock and everything too, so I just really wasn't happy about that. But after I just kind of played it for a while and kind of broke it in, it feels a little bit better now. So yeah, the overall feel of it is pretty good. Another thing I wanted to kind of tell you about was I guess what kind of wood this is made of and stuff like that. So I'm just going to read this right from the website here, which is let's see, I think this is madeinchina.com, which is at least one place where they kind of advertise this stuff for sale from the Pango Music Company. So it says materials: solid spruce top, solid flamed maple back and sides, rosewood bridge, chrome hardware, ebony fingerboard. So that's what it's made out of, basically. And like I said, for the price that I paid for this, that was one of the main reasons why I chose to buy from Pango Music, is because it was a good deal to get this style of Mandocello that's, the K4 style, I think they call it, modeled after those old Gibson models. And of course there are other companies that sell Mandocellos for similar prices, which I think Gold Tone, I think Eastman, maybe. Those companies have like roughly $2,000 range Mandocellos that have the guitar style body, and so you can get those. And those, I've seen YouTube videos of those, and they sound pretty cool. But kind of just the look of this is just really cool. It's something that I'm planning to at some point get a wall hanger sort of thing and just kind of hang this on the wall as like a decoration. It just looks cool. So that was kind of what made me decide to go for this, the price point for the kind of style that you get for it. One thing I want to note though is that since I purchased this for just under $2,000. It was like $1,900 and change, somewhere in there, including shipping. And they've recently raised the prices as far as what I'm seeing advertised on their the Made for China websites and everywhere else that it's offered. I think they have some of these offered on Etsy, and I don't know, there's probably other various places you can get them. It's about $1,000 more expensive, and I'm sure that, I don't know exactly what went into them raising the prices. COVID, probably some other things. Obviously here in the United States we've had over at least summer 2021 some crazy prices for just getting wood in general. So I don't know if it's kind of the same thing over there or what's going on, but it looks like they've raised the prices pretty dramatically actually on these, about $1,000 more expensive than I paid for this. So, that's something to definitely keep in mind, because then, if I were fresh on the market for one of these and this is $1,000 more than the, the Eastman or Gold Tone, those guitar body style Mandocellos, I might go for one of those just for the price. But yeah, so that's something to think about. I also saw that they have a new offering, which is a 10-string Mandocello, which is basically the same kind of body style as this one. They have a bunch of different kind of body styles. You can get these F-holes like I got, or you can get the round hole. And you can get different stain different color stain and that sort of thing. There's a few different options you can get, and of course you can custom order stuff from them however you want. They're pretty easy to deal with as far as doing custom orders. Like I said, mine was a little bit of a custom order, getting this little star up here, getting some extra frets. But I was pretty basic with what I asked them to do in addition to just the standard model. But I think they're pretty open to doing a lot of things. But they do have an advertised 10-string Mandocello, which I thought was kind of cool. I maybe would have bought that instead of this if had I known that was something they would do. So. But yeah, that one I saw for like $3,500. So I don't know, that's kind of cool. But yeah, in any case, that's something to think about. Because for $3,000 now for this, it kind of makes me think, well, I mean, obviously, if I were to get an American-made model, that would be more like $6,000 to $7,000. But maybe it'd be, if I was really serious into it, I would probably start thinking about that. But in any case. Yeah, prices have gone up on this, but for the $2,000 that I paid for this, it's a pretty good value. Then another thing I want to mention too is there is actually, and I didn't know this before I ordered this, but if I would have known this beforehand, I probably would have done this a little differently. Apparently there's an American company, I think in Holyoke, Massachusetts, called Mandocello Strings, and they are sort of like I guess an American retailer of these Pango instruments. They just call them Mandocello strings, but they're basically these instruments that have the Mandocello strings label, and they're an American reseller essentially. I had no idea that company was there. Otherwise, I probably would have purchased one of these from them because they sell this model basically, and it was it's like $1,700 or $1,800. I don't know if their prices are going to be, like if you were to try and call them and place an order now, I don't know if they'll tell you if it's the same price obviously or not, but man, I could, instead of waiting like 8 or 9 months, whatever it was, to get this one custom made for me, I could have had it and they might have had one on hand ready to ship, I don't know. So that's, if you're thinking about getting one of these instruments, I guess I would say check out Mandocello Strings and see what they have to offer. It doesn't hurt to check. You might be able to get one faster anyways, and maybe cheaper than just ordering directly from Pango. Now the other thing that's interesting about this is it didn't come with a case or anything, so right now what I have is just this is a very cheap, soft acoustic guitar case that this fits into pretty well. I want to get a hard case for it, but I tried fitting some of these at a music store, and it's just really hard to try and get something that fits this Mandocello. It's a pretty tall instrument with the bridge, so even in some of the larger guitar cases, I've found that it's sort of hard to get it to fit in there. So I would say I think that Mandocello Strings might be able to help out with that. I actually sent a message to Weber, that mandolin company, because I know they make Mandocellos, to ask if they would sell just a case, and they were not able to do so. So I might send a message to the Mandocello Strings and see if they can maybe hook me up with a case. Otherwise, I think that the Pango Music, I think they might sell some cases that are basically guitar cases, but that this fits into. So yeah, getting a case for this is definitely not an easy task, but I got to look into that further. I've just been kind of neglecting to do that, and I got just a soft case for the time being. So as far as the setup of this goes, like I kind of mentioned, I wasn't going to get this professionally set up. I just did this myself. It was a very meticulous process to get it to what I am satisfied with, because obviously I had to place the bridge, work with the intonation and stuff like that, then set the height of it, and that required constant retuning and detuning the strings just to make sure that the notes sounded right and there wasn't a lot of buzzing. I have the action on this set pretty high, and the reason why is just because when I set it low, I had some frets that in certain places they made the buzzing sound. And obviously, if I were to bring this to some professional that knows what they're doing, they could you know, maybe do a little bit with work with the frets, do a little bit with the nut up here, with the placement of the bridge, and all, you know, they could do it right. I just you know, I just kind of did my best, and I got it to sound pretty good. Obviously, there's a few spots that are, you know, occasionally I get a buzz or whatever, but it sounds pretty good. And as far as the sound of this goes, I mean, I'm gonna play it for you guys a little bit, but it's a really cool sound, and I really like that that low C string. It just kind of growls, I guess you could say. So it's really a unique sound, and yeah, I don't know, the sound is maybe a little bit quieter than it, you know, it just seems like it should have a little bit more coming out of it, but I don't know, maybe that's, I mean, maybe it would if it was the more full guitar body, I guess. Maybe it's just the way this is shaped. It feels like, you know, for what I'm giving it, I'm not getting out quite what I'm expecting, but it doesn't sound bad, and it is definitely pretty loud. And that's coming from someone who's really not a professional with like mandolin type instruments, so take that with a grain of salt. But anyways, in general, I mean, overall, for the price I paid and what I get, this is pretty cool. And yeah, I think it sounds pretty good, and it's just really fun to play. That's the main thing. So yeah, so I don't I'm mainly a banjo player, not a mandolin player, so that's trying to convert over to this instrument has definitely been a challenge, especially with the tuning in fifths for such a large instrument. It's definitely a twist for the fingers, but it's still really fun to play. And yeah, so I'm not really sure how to demo this the best. Obviously, you could do the old standard Bach prelude kind of stuff. I haven't really memorized that whole thing, but yeah, so sorry about that. I'm really stumbling through that one, but yeah, that seems like the classic piece to play on an instrument like this, but yeah, I don't know. We'll just play something kind of random and bluegrassy, I guess. So once I go up here, that's where you can kind of hear some of the buzzing going on. So definitely some fretwork could probably alleviate some of that. It's really kind of tricky to play up here too, so I think up here is where standard mandolin tuning would be, if I can even fret that whole thing, or just do the harmonic. Alright, so that was kind of a review of the instrument itself. So I just wanted to talk a little bit before I end this about the customer service experience with Pango. So for the most part it was pretty good, but it definitely wasn't perfect. I originally contacted them through email, and I can't even remember how I came across their email. It was just through random Google searches and coming across their might have been through the Made in China website, or I know that they have the website, the Pango Music website on its own, so probably found it there. But I sent him an email. I'm like, hey, I'm interested in a Mandocello. Got a pretty quick reply from someone named Anne, and she's the one who helps me through the whole process of purchasing this and customizing it and all that kind of stuff. Very, very easy and good to work with. So like you could understand, since this is a Chinese company, there might be somewhat of a language barrier, and there kind of was, but she was very helpful speaking English and everything, so it was all pretty good there. And it was just really nice that they were so willing to do customizations, and the whole process was easy. Paying for it was easy, just paid through PayPal and everything, so that was pretty nice. The only thing that I really didn't like was how long it took to make this thing, and obviously it's no easy instrument to make, so I expected it would take long, but right from the beginning, I think they gave me an estimate of like 3 to 4 months or something. I ordered it in September of 2020, so I thought, alright, I'm going to get this roughly around Christmas time or so, maybe a little bit after. But I ended up getting it, I think it was April of 2021, whatever that was, so it took a long time, and so I kind of had to just push them for, sending them emails like, hey, what's the status of my instrument? And they were mostly pretty willing to, give updates and say, hey, we're at this process of building it, and they did send some pictures at some points of, kind of like the body, when the body was getting made. They make these in like batches of like 4, I think, so so they're not like exactly ready to go, and that's understandable. A good quality, unique instrument like this should take time, so that's understandable. But I was getting really frustrated with them because I was given the 3 to 4 month estimate. It turned into like 8 to 9 months, whatever it was. And so I kept on pushing them for emails for updates, and at some point I got really frustrated, and I'm like, all right, where is this thing? When are you guys going to ship it? And I ended up filing a PayPal claim. And the main reason why I did the PayPal claim is because I was getting to this point with the purchase where after a certain amount of time you're not going to be able to get a refund through PayPal if you don't receive your item. So I'm like, well, I'm not receiving my item, so what am I going to do here? So I filed a PayPal claim, and they didn't receive that well, so I kind of received somewhat of a nastygram email in response to that, and it's like, hey, you guys are taking way too long to build this thing. So that part was really frustrating, but after I did file that PayPal claim, they were, they kind of kept going forward, and they're like, look, just get rid of the PayPal claim. We're still building the instrument. It'll be done in, whatever, 30 days or whatever it was like. And I'm like, okay. So, and sure enough, after that, it was done. They started sending me pictures of the finished Mandocello, and they shipped it out. It just was definitely a long process, I will say that. So if you're going to order from this company, and especially if you're going to ask for any customizations, I hope that it won't take almost a year like it took me, but it probably you're gonna be waiting several months, I can tell you that. So that's something to keep in mind. But overall, once I got it, it's like, okay, I got my money's worth for sure. So that's all good now. So So anyway, that's the review of the Pango Mandocello. This model, they call it, is the PMB-903, I believe. And so, like I said, just a few customizations, but otherwise this is the base model. So if you buy just that, it's pretty much going to look and sound the same. If you guys have any other questions about anything, feel free to leave some comments or whatever. Definitely will answer those. And I hope this video was informative to anybody thinking about buying these instruments, because I was, it kind of seemed like one of those too good to be true sort of situations when I was looking at all this, and so I took the plunge and I was just like, I'm gonna go for this. This seems like a pretty cool, for the price it'll be a pretty cool instrument. So, and it is overall at the end of the day, with all said and done, even with some of the customer service kind of stuff and the issue with the tuning pegs. So you're really not going to get an instrument, this style of Mandocello for that kind of price anywhere else. So there it is. That's a review of it. Hope this video was informative for somebody, and thank you for watching.